Hello, all my heliosexual friends. Listen, we have some discussion about Antarctica going on here. Someone said, well, Antarctica was circumnavigated, and that's a fact. Well, it's not really a fact because you're just believing what someone told you. A fact would be based upon your personal experience, and I'm pretty sure you haven't circumnavigated Antarctica, but if you have, I would like to see the specs on that. That said, this is the bottom of the so-called globular Earth, and I have a question. How do you think this island is circumnavigated with a compass when the compass doesn't actually point north on a sphere? If you're on the bottom of the sphere, the compass is going to point in a circle. It probably doesn't even work at all. It probably spins in Antarctica.
This is an image of the magnetosphere, which is the magnetic field around the Earth. You notice there's a north and a south pole to it, because that's how magnets work. There has to be a north and a south. This is a consequence of the magnetic field. It's called the Aurora Borealis, and the particles from the sun travel down the pole to the poles and interact with molecules in the atmosphere. And then, of course, compasses will point towards the nearest pole. So the south pole of the compass will point south if it's closer to the south pole than the north pole. So therefore, it will point south. Well, the south pole, the magnet is actually the north pole of the magnet, but that's how compasses work. So
as it does at the North Pole, right? So when you hold your compass flat like this, what happens though when you're in Antarctica is that the compass points north, which is the center of the flat disk plane. Yeah, it's always going to point to the center. So as you're going around Antarctica here on your island, on your imaginary globe, how is the compass pointing north? It's very interesting. It wouldn't do that, okay? It wouldn't do that on a sphere when north is up and not in all directions around you. So let's say you did circumnavigate this island. As you're traversing this, you're keeping the island, to your right. You're traveling around in a circle. Here we go. And so you see that the ice wall, which is actually a vast plain, we don't know how far it extends, but it's vast.
the south pole is about over 5 million square miles and over 14 million square kilometers. This is a picture from an expedition company that goes to the pole, and you see the crevasse, that deep hole. That's one of the reasons you can't just wander around. But there's up to 5,100 people on the continent at any time. Well, good night, and hopefully somebody found this useful or educational. And have a good night, and see you again.